or where is this home page is displayed. So here I have to write, instead of when, I have to write then. It would just a typo, I think. So whatever you are using, all those things you have to import. Whatever you're using, I'm using given, I'm importing. I'm using then, I'm importing. I'm using when, I am importing. WebDriver manager we will discuss. After Cucumber done, we will discuss. That's all about Cucumber. You divide them into two things. One is feature file, another one is step definition. Don't think writing simple English in the feature file, Cucumber will run my code. You still have to use technology. It doesn't matter which technology you wanted to use. Example, here I'm using Selenium with Java. You wanted to use Selenium with Java, use that. You want to use Selenium with C#, write language in C#. Cucumber is going to support any type of language you are trying to use it. They always check only purely Cucumber dependent on what? These things. Given when, then. Whatever given you have given here, you should give the same thing there. So I would suggest you guys to create separate project for Cucumber, because you need to create one folder called features. So I will show you again. I think this document is very detailedly explained. Now come back to the document. You guys can understand it easily now, right? So I showed you the feature file. I showed you the feature file. What is my feature file? Where do you create it? You create one folder. Okay, you create one folder called features. Under that you create one feature file. Nothing but you creating a class only. That nothing but you have to give dot sprint1 dot feature, and it's a just plain file. So you have to come here, click on new, click on file. That's all. Just give the file name. So what is my file name? I have given sprint1 dot feature. You can give up to you. You can give any name. Why I am giving sprint1 dot feature? Some projects for every sprint they create one feature file. For every project they create one feature file and they used to run it. I think this document is detailedly given with the screenshots also. Yeah. So now you can understand, right? Feature is what? HRM login, my test case. Sign up should be quick and friendly. Here what I'm saying, scenario. This is the scenario. What I'm saying, scenario, verify user is able to log in with valid user ID and password. Remember, Cucumber has nothing to do with this scenario. This is why we are putting it. We are putting it in the plain English so that the client can also understand. Anyone non-technical people can understand what simple English, right? It's just written in simple English so that everyone can understand the simple English. But for every step you are writing, you should write a definition. Okay. Now you come back to the document. Given, we understood. When, we understood. Then. So for everything, we are writing the definition. Now, when working with BDD, there are a couple of additional concepts we need to be familiarized. I said feature file. Create one folder called features. Under that, you keep on adding your feature file. Sprint to one feature file. Sprint to two, one feature file. Some people put only one file. Some people will put only one file and they try to add all the features into the one file itself. They just run entire thing at a time. That is one thing. Okay. Step definition, I explained, nothing but your coding. So what is my step definitions? Here, these are my step definition. This is one step, one definition. Another step, another definition. That is the step definitions. And this is the hierarchy, how it basically looks like. Right? So now we understood this hierarchy and then follow the steps to continue. So when I said create a new project for Cucumber itself, try to create Maven project only. Try to create Maven project only. Now, whenever you use Cucumber, you need to add some dependencies. We use TestNG, right? So we used Apache PY. What we did, we added some TestNG dependency, Apache POI to read, write the data from Excel. So what we used, Apache POI dependency we added. Now what we are going to use, we are going to use the Cucumber. So you guys have to add what? Dependency for Cucumber. I'm saying go to this particular website and search Cucumber Java and click on search. You will get this. You don't need to go there. Just copy paste it. I already given this dependency to you. Just copy paste from here to here. Where you have to add it, you have to add it under dependencies. Okay, this is one dependency. The next one is what? Repeat step 1 and search Cucumber JUnit. So most of the time Cucumber is used with the JUnit. If you want, you can even use Cucumber with the TestNG also. It's up to you. But most of the time people use Cucumber with the JUnit because JUnit is more compatible with the Cucumber. Now what we added one dependency related to Cucumber and one more dependency related to JUnit. So that is for, you need to search for i.cucumber.cucumber JUnit. I already given the dependency also here. You can just copy it, put it in the dependencies. This I already added. Go to your pom.xml. Is already added. You guys can see one JUnit is already added. By default, whenever you create a Maven project, by default, it will add the JUnit dependency. Here io.cucumber I am using. And this is for Cucumber Java. This is for Cucumber JUnit. One for Java, one for JUnit. Only these two dependencies you need to add. In case if JUnit is not showing you, and 99% whenever you create a Maven project, pom.xml is created, and this pom.xml file will contain by default JUnit. If it is not there, anyhow, I'll do one thing. I'll import this project and give it to you. You can just try to import it. That would be the easier way. But try to, before taking my project, try to follow the steps. Try to follow the steps and try to do yourself so that you will understand, you will get some confidence. If I give you just you import it, run it, that's all. So you will not learn much. Try to import and then, write yourself, then try to import it. What is the use of Cucumber? Nothing. Simple English feature file. Simple English feature file. That's what I am explaining. This is majorly for advantage to the client to understand. If I give the step definitions to the client, do you think client will understand anything? Client will not understand anything. We just wanted to go for giving this feature file. We'll tell go to the features folder and understand what we have automated. That is the purpose of using the Cucumber. Okay, then just follow these steps. Okay, I repeat, don't think just having business facing will not work. You still have to have technology facing. Okay, and once you guys added these dependencies, then right click on your project in Eclipse, create new folder. I'm also telling you how to create a new folder. Why these all are in? Okay, right click on your project in Eclipse and create new folder with the name called featured. So that's why I already showed you how to do it. Right click on your project, click on new, click on folder. Give folder name as what? Features. Under that features, right click on this features, click on new file, give the file name. You guys can follow the steps. These steps are given in detail. So right click on features folder and create new file with the name called sprint1.feature. Don't think it should be sprint1 only. It can be any name, but make sure you are giving extension as feature. The file extension should contain .features. This can be any name. Can be sprint1 or it can be any name, but what is the difference is you just have to give .feature and then click on OK. Once you click on, you will get this below screen. So better editor support, just click on show IDE, click on OK, then click on install from the below screen. You will get, since you are doing it for the first time, it is just trying to install the Cucumber Eclipse plugin. So just click on install first one. Don't go for the second one. That's why I'm highlighting the yellow color. Okay. So click on install from the below screen. Once it is installed, it will take some time. Make sure you have internet connected. If you want any plugins you wanted to install, your system should connect to the internet because it should go to the server and get it. Then click on I accept. In the bottom, you see the small one. Click on I accept and click on finish button. Once you click on finish, wait until installation is completed. You can see in the bottom, you can see I highlighted here. So people try to very faster and they see nothing is happening, but you need to understand it is taking some time. Make it 100%. Then after that, click on install anyway. These are the pop-ups what you will get it when you are doing it for the first time. Don't think you need to do all these steps every time. Every time what you need to do, you just need to go to the step definitions. Sorry, not before to the step definitions. What you have to do, you have to write scenario, right? Given, then, when, based on your scenario, and try to do the step definitions. And see, always nothing is changing here. Coding is still Java. Tool is Selenium. What extra we are seeing in Cucumber feature file? Nothing else more than that. Now these guys are using given, when, then, Gherkin. Gherkin language, what they generally say, they call it as a Gherkin language. So they are nothing. They are just using this given, when. So internally, how they implemented, they have written a code wherever they see given, and they go and search in the step definitions. That's what they implemented. There is nothing much from the implementation point of view. Just go on the plain English text. Then click on install way, click on restart now. Don't think your machine restart. It will ask you only to restart your Eclipse, not your laptop. So restart Eclipse IDE to apply. Just click on restart now. So once you click on restart now, you will see the structure like this. Future file is created. So once, don't worry about this XYZ pages, runner and all. Don't worry. Don't confuse. Why I am not getting these packages? It will not come. It will not come. This is completely framework, which we will discuss maybe on Friday or Saturday. We will discuss. That time we have these. Don't. If you wanted, you can make a note. Step 17. SRT test Java can be ignored. Don't think this should be all over. Otherwise, can I rub it? Otherwise, I'll do one thing. I'll take this screenshot. Yeah. Yeah, better not to confuse you. I will take this screenshot. Okay, you should see future file and you should see step 1 definition. After that, just go down. So paste the below code in sprint1 dot feature file. I already given the code. So once you paste it, right? Once you create a feature file, once you paste it, run the feature file. I know we have not written any coding. Don't go for writing the coding. First, copy this. And put it in a feature file. Now, before writing the coding, so what this will help you guys to do is, now when I come back to this sprint1 dot feature. So now it hanged. Okay. Now let's say this step definitions, right? Why it is. Now these are the step definitions what I have here, right? So what I will try to do, I'll just try to delete all these things and just tell you what I'm trying to do. Okay. Okay. So what I will do, I'll just try to delete them and I'll put it in a notepad or put this in notepad. Now what I am saying, according to these steps, just copy this one and put it into your steps file, right? Once you guys putting it into the step file, let me comment this one. Star slash. Okay, just leave it. Now, once you guys put it, I was always saying this should always match. So I don't want you to copy and do it from here or some spelling mistakes and all. Just right click on your featured file. Right click. Right click, run as. You will automatically get as Cucumber feature. You will get this feature. Once you add the dependencies and once you add the plugins, you will automatically, like once we add dependency for TestNG, what we are getting? We are getting option called run as TestNG test. If you go to testng.xml file, what you are getting? Run as TestNG suite. TestNG suite. Because that XML file contains multiple. So when it contains multiple test cases, we call it as a suite, right? Now here, click on run as, asking to run as. Why I deleted this entire steps? Because once you run it, it will generate this name, this name, this name, this name. It will automatically give the method names for you. So you don't need to copy from here, right? So that means it's going too slow here. It hanged. Okay, I think it should be better now. Go to your sprint1 dot feature, run as Cucumber feature. Now what I'm trying to show you, launching has encountered a problem. Non-existing project Cucumber. Okay. Okay, don't worry. And let me do Control Z here. So that's already I've given you in the document very clearly. So now what I'm saying, copy this code and put it into your feature file. Right click and run as Cucumber feature. It will generate this code. In the sense, it's a copy paste of the screenshot I have taken. What it is going to do, once you run this, remember before writing the coding, you run your feature file first. Why? Because it will automatically generate this for you. It will automatically generate, it will automatically take given browser is open and application is in login page. You don't need to type all these things. Just copy from here where it will generate. It is going to generate in the console. Once you run it, it will saying that there are no step definitions for below. Just ignore the error message. Don't worry, it will throw an error. Let it throw an error. It will throw an error saying that what do you call, saying that the step definitions not available for these things. Okay, just copy it. Same thing, whatever the screenshot I have given, you will get the same thing. Now under this method, it will automatically take this step definition names. Browser is open and application is in login. So once you type it there, just try to run it. It will automatically generate this coding and then copy paste it. Now after copying this, I'm saying create new package called step definitions. So I'm saying now go to here, create one package called step definitions. You need to create one package called step definitions. Under that, create a new class in above package. What I'm saying, you create a step definitions package. Under that, I'm giving my create new class. Click on create new class. Just give the class name, whatever the name you wanted, you can give it. Don't use the main. Main is not needed for TestNG. It is not needed for Cucumber also. You don't need. Okay. Create a file, then write the coding in that particular file. So what we are doing, create a new class, paste code which is copied in step 20. In the step 20, you copied this entire thing, right? Just put that it in your feature file. Sorry, not the feature file, under step definitions, whatever the class you are creating. Then add code for all methods from step 20. What is the first method? This one, browser is open and application is in login page. What you will do, driver equal to new Chrome driver and then driver.get HRM. That code you have to write, right? And then again, user enters username and password. Now, if I give you an example, in TestNG, recently we discussed, right? What we are doing in TestNG, if you take that TestNG HRM login. So what we are doing, we are putting entire coding in one method. We are putting entire coding in one method. But what we are trying to do here, we are just trying to split them into different steps. For every step, you have to have one method. Instead of putting entire code like driver.get and enter username, password, everything, this entire code, whatever I am having here, are split into three different steps. What you are doing, three different steps. Three different step means given is one step, when is one step, then is one step. For every step, you should write one method. That is only the difference. If you compare it with the TestNG, you are putting everything @test and you're writing complete coding for the login. Here, what these guys are doing, these guys are writing it the stepwise. So why we have to write the stepwise? That is the plain English which client can understand. What you will have manual testing, right? Manual test cases we already written. So your test cases will contain what? Test steps. Every test case will have steps. If I show you my manual test cases, HRM test cases example. So what is my first step to log in? Verify user is able to log in with valid user ID and password. What are you doing? Stepwise. Open the browser, type application URL. So what is my step definition? I'm saying feature file. Given browser is open and application is on login page. As simple as to say that this is one step. Open the browser, type the application. User is on the login page. What is the next step? Enter user ID, enter password. What is my features file is saying? When user enters username and password, And then what is the next step I'm saying? After entering, click on login. Same concept we are implementing. Same concept. Whatever test cases we have, client can understand it in simple English manner. For every step, you should write one method definition. No, nothing. It's sequential. It's up to you. You can use when also first. They will always check only this one and this one is matching for the step definition or not. If it is not matching, it will throw an error saying step definitions are missing. Okay. Now, what we are trying to do, we are trying to do the same thing here, right? I'm just following the steps. Then you write, create one open feature file and run this file to execute your code. So what I'm saying, go to your features file. I think something went wrong. That's why it's not allowing. Otherwise, click on run as Cucumber feature. Yeah, there is some problem. Launching Sprint1 dot feature has encountered a problem. Launch configuration Sprint1 reference details. Non-existing project. Okay. I think I have 1 minute. Runner class. So sometimes this feature file creates a problem to running. So what we are saying is create one more package called runner. Create one package called runner. Under that, create one .java file, and you just have to say run with cucumber dot class @cucumber option features equal to features file. This will specify where is my feature file is available. It will always check it in my local same project. Dot glue step definition. Glue somewhere I have written. Okay, so I'm saying go to the step definition. This plugin I'm trying to use for generating the reports. TestNG, what we were having, TestNG were generating the reports, right? Emailable report.html. But here, if you want something reports to be generated, you can just mention this plugin. You need to add this plugin. Monochrome true, I will explain you. Just try to run from here, run as JUnit test. Why this is not going? Now you guys can see same thing, but what we are using one concept. It will enter user ID, password, and then it will click on login. The site is down, so we cannot we cannot do anything. So that's what we are just trying to do. So I would recommend, I want you guys to follow these steps. Let me close Eclipse and reopen it. Let me close all the things which are not needed at this moment. Okay, just take this document, okay, follow complete step by step. It is very detailed, nothing different. Your code will be there. Don't think using Cucumber plain English, you don't need to write the coding. You need to write the coding. But where we are writing the coding, we are calling it as step definitions. We are calling it as step definition. Feature file contains what? Scenario and steps. Scenario is what? Verify user able to log into HRM application. Once user, then you write feature scenario. Scenario is what? User should be able to log in with valid user ID and valid password. That is the scenario. Then step. Given application is open and it is on the login page, one step. Copy paste that step and then write a definition. Next step. Then given when user enters valid user ID and password and clicks on login, then home page of the HRM page is displayed. That's what exactly we are trying to do it using. Okay. So I repeat, only few things you need to understand is one folder called feature file, because it's purely driven by the features file itself. So you will create one file called, I repeat again, right click, new, click on file, give your feature file name. Just give your feature file name. Example, I have given sprint1. Always make sure sample dot feature. You need to give it this way. You need to give the dot feature. You can give any name. Okay, click on finish. It will create one feature file here for you. Then run this feature file. Some reasons I don't know, it is not running. Just follow the steps, it should run. So run your feature file. You will get the screen that I have already given it here. It will generate this coding. Just copy paste it and then go to your after copy pasting this into where you need to copy paste it, in the step definitions. You have one more thing new here is you are creating two packages. One is called step definitions. One is called step definition. Create, right click, new class. Just click on class, give the class name. This common, don't click the main. Main is not needed. So you can just ignore the main. After that, create one more class called, package called runner. So runner, you don't have to do anything. We just open and close with the name called runner. So just try to run this as a JUnit test. JUnit test will come once you add the dependency in the pom.xml file. Okay. Let me put this document right away in Google Class. Do you want me to put this project as well? Cucumber project? First you try to do. Today I will not put it. Just you try to follow the steps and try to do yourself so that you will get some practice. You try to do it today before coming tomorrow session. If you guys are facing any issues, let me know. We'll see and try to fix that. 11A. Mostly people are asking that some knowledge on the Cucumber side, some knowledge, just add frameworks. Under frameworks, you try to add TestNG, and then you also add Cucumber to your CV so that they can understand you also know the Cucumber. Now, if you guys understand in this coding, I have one thing called new year in step definitions. If you go right here, if you guys observe here, I'm using webdriver.chromedriver.setup. Okay. This basically, we don't need to specify, we don't need to download Chrome driver exe also. So what I said earlier, you need to download the Chrome driver.exe. And then I said you should save it in your local drive. Then you have to give the path for it. What is the path we were giving wherever? C:/ashok/chrome.exe, right? We don't need to download Chrome driver. We don't need to put any, what you call, path of it. So how it basically works, this Chrome driver.setup method, it try to understand which version of the Chrome browser you are having. It will automatically understand which version of your Chrome driver is having. There will not be any much compatible issues. I told in the initial days when we were learning, disable auto upgradation of the browser because your Selenium may not be compatible with the latest versions of the Chrome. So to avoid that, they have come up with this situation, right? So they are just saying Chrome driver dot setup. Okay, WebDriver manager. So I'm using the WebDriver manager. So this is a predefined class. So you guys have to use what? You have to download this WebDriver manager. And this is something from the GitHub. This is the package name. This is the package name and this is your predefined class. Okay. So here in step definition, for every step, I'm giving a definition. User is on home page. I'm opening the HRM application code. User enters username and password. I'm using what? I'm using the XPath and I'm giving user ID and password, then clicking on click, right? I left this, then I left this method as empty. I left this method as empty because I want you guys to write a code. What I said, I already given one assignment. Once user enters user ID and password, where it should, after clicking on login, what it should select? Dashboard. Did you guys try to verify? Assertion, try to put that assertion inside the then method. Just make sure it is showing going to the dashboard. Okay. Well, that's about the Cucumber. Since we still have more time, we can, I think we can start with the framework. Framework is the most important thing which you guys need to understand. Frameworks. Page factory, I will explain it later. Okay. Always, whenever you guys go into a project, this framework has no dependency on Jenkins and Cucumber. We will do it. First, we will try to spend some time on understanding the framework. So remember, you since most 90-95% of the people are trying as a fresher, there are no expectations from any company that you have to create a framework. Always remember that. So why I'm telling in upfront, you understand it very good. At least I can tell you 90% you will understand for sure. There is no doubt. If you do not understand, also very good. Don't get confused. Don't degrade yourself that I'm not understanding it, because it is not for your level. This is not at your level. Anyhow, I'll explain it here, and I will also share you this document. Try to, once you go to a project, anyhow, one of the senior members should explain the framework to you. You're one of the senior member in your project should, I'm not saying generally explain, should explain means they will definitely explain you the framework. Example, if I go to one new project or new company, no one will explain me framework. They say framework is available, explore yourself. That anyhow you will get into it once you cross 6 years or 8 years of experience in automation. Then you can understand, you will be even in the position to create a framework. Trust me, if you spend 6 years of, or 4 years of experience is also sufficient. If you get 4 years of experience in your company project, then you can also create your own framework. They are not expecting framework level from your end. They are expecting some theoretical knowledge. What is a framework? Types of frameworks, how basically why framework is used, how framework works. All these things are purely for the experienced people. Okay. Exceptions we already discussed, right? Exception handling in Java. Back to school again. No. We'll see. We'll see if time permits. We'll see. Okay. Whenever I say framework, we understood TestNG is one framework. Cucumber is one framework. This framework, what I'm talking is completely different. Don't think framework, what I'm explaining is like a TestNG, or framework, what I'm explaining is like a Cucumber. No, it has nothing to do with the Cucumber and TestNG. So this framework, so whenever we wanted to design a framework, after designing the framework, it's up to you. You use Selenium or use QTP, use Cucumber, use TestNG. Always remember, framework has no dependency on the tool. Always remember that. Framework has no dependency on the tool. I can use all the framework, whatever I'm explaining here. I can use all these frameworks with the QTP. I can use it with STS. I can use it with the Selenium. Any tool that is available in the market, they all can use frameworks. Don't think the framework what I'm explaining is dependent on Selenium only. Any tool can go ahead and use this kind of framework. Most of the people don't know that page object model I have to use only with the Selenium. You can use it with other tools also in the market. I repeat, the tool coding technology that you guys are using in a project has no relation with the framework what I'm explaining. This framework is all about specific to the project, specific to the project. What is the framework majorly? Framework majorly used for maximum code reusability and easy to maintain. Easy to maintain. That is the major purpose of introducing frameworks to the market. Code maximum reusability and maintainability of your framework should be easier. Now you take an example of Amazon website, e-commerce. How many pages they have? It's a very big application. So if you want to go for automating those type of applications, the frameworks are most important for maintainable. What are the packages we used in Java? Easily to categorize and maintain them. Java examples, one package. TestNG examples, one package. Cucumber examples, one package. Same thing we are trying to use it for using the framework. They should be easily maintainable and they should be easily reusable. Example, I am a tester. I'm writing. In the framework, we have something called common methods, common features. Example, you take you take your application. You have 1,000 text fields, different pages, different functionalities. You have total 1,000 text fields. When you have 1,000 text fields, do you think every time you have to type send keys 1,000 times? We write one method. We'll ask everyone to use one method. Let's say I have 100 testers in my project. I have 100 testers in my project. What you will have in your application, let's categorize them. So what I will have in my application, I will have text fields. I'll have text fields. I will have radio buttons. I will have checkbox, right? I'll have button. I will have links. So for text field, what actions you are going to do? Let's say I also have drop down. Drop down. Let's consider these are the maximum fields. What you will have more than this? You will not have more than this. You will always have radio button, checkbox, text field, button, hyperlink. What else you will have? Nothing else more than this, right? So what actions you can do on text field? Type. What actions you are going to do? Type. So what I would do, I will write one function called void type. I'll put some coding here. I have 1,000 fields. How many times I can reuse this method? 1,000 times. Do you think every tester needs to write the coding again? This is what we consider under frameworks. Maximum of code reusability. Maximum of code reusability. What action I can do for radio button, checkbox and button and the links? For all these things, what actions I can do? Radio button, click. Hyperlink, click. Button, click. Checkbox, click. So you can understand how many radio buttons, how many fields we are covering. We are writing only one method, which is called void. That's all. How many buttons you are having, like all except drop down, all these buttons used for what? Click only. So they will create one package in frameworks. They create one package called common features, or some people create it as common features. Some people create it as a common utilities. We call it as a common utilities. Some people call as utils. Some people call it as a utilities, common utilities. Some people call it as a utils, just utils. So utilities, what we are going to create. Are you guys understanding? 1,000 fields, just one method. More than like say 4,000-5,000 radio buttons, all these things, only one method. Do you think every tester, whoever newly coming, they keep on adding the new code for every button, every checkbox? I say wherever you have a click, use my method called click. Okay. So for typing, what you need to specify? Where you wanted to type. Like driver dot find element by dot xpath, right? And then test data, what data you wanted to type. So this parameter will take the two parameters. One is web element target, where you wanted to type. That's a target. And then you will have string test data. These two parameters I will have. So what I will always say here, I'll come to this method. The first I'm explaining you the common things, what we generally concentrate on the frameworks. Okay. Now what I would say, target, what do you call that? Web element, driver dot find element. Yeah, you just say driver dot find element by dot XPath. Just what is XPath? Target. Dot send keys. What do you want to send? Test data. Is it not as simple as one line code? All 100 testers can use it. They don't need to write every time. They don't need to write. So now what I wanted to do when I'm calling this method, let's say I'm a tester. I wanted to type some username. So what I would say, obj dot type. So I will give you the, what is it is taking? Web element. Let's say I will give XPath / whatever XPath I have. And then after that, test data. What I wanted to type? Admin. You're just calling this method. So every tester has some different web XPath. Every tester will have different XPath. Based on the field is changing, your XPath will keep on changing. I'm a tester one, I'm using field one. I have just called this method using my, I'm just calling this method using my XPath for my field. You take example, you want to type something according to your test case. Let's say you are using what? Entering reset password. So what you have to enter your user ID. So you will give XPath of your user ID field in reset pin screen. Okay. So like that, this will be keep on changing. What will be changing? Data will be changing. Data will be changing. Method is the same. Method is always same, but your parameters will be keep on changing. According to me, I will give my XPath. According to me, I will give my test data. According to you, you will give your own test data. It depends, right? So this is one thing which commonly we need to consider. Every framework, there are multiple frameworks available in the market. Every framework will have this feature. What is this feature? Common utilities, common functions. Now I wanted to use the Excel to read my data. Under common utilities also, I will write one method for reading the data from Excel, one method for writing data to Excel. Every tester wanted to read data from Excel, call that method. That's all. So as much as possible, the major concentration on the frameworks is code reusability. Maximum purpose is code reusability and how easily maintainable. How easily maintainable? I will give one more example that maybe tomorrow we will discuss that. So understood what is a framework now? Major purpose of framework is to code reusability and easily maintainable. It should be easily, let's say I have automated 1000 test cases. Okay, 100 test cases are failed. I automated 1000 test cases, 100 test cases are failed. I should not spend more time on understanding in which class, where is the problem. I should be easily understand and maintain it. That you will understand maybe mostly tomorrow. We cannot complete framework in half an hour. Definitely it will take more than one class today and we'll try to do it tomorrow also. Okay. Now we have different types of framework. One is called data driven. One is called keyword driven. One is called page object model. One is called hybrid framework. Hybrid we will discuss. So this is how my framework looks like. I said common utilities. I will create one package called utilities. Under that, I am going to put common methods. What are those common methods? This method. For typing, one method. For click, one method. And then I have constants.java. Constant Java means like where is my the path of my browser. Don't worry, I will explain this. All are implemented as part of my framework. When I explain the framework, you guys can understand. I'm creating one more package called Excel utility. Excel utility used for all methods that are related to Excel, reading data and writing data to the Excel. Then I have one package called test cases. Here we set step definitions. Here we are saying test cases. All your test cases will go under this package. And COM pages, this we will discuss. This typically comes in the page object model. Let's not deviate. We will go one by one. First, we'll try to understand different types of frameworks. What are the different types of frameworks we have? The first one, what I have is data driven. Second one is keyword driven. Third one is page object model. Fourth one is hybrid. What is hybrid inheritance? Coming more than one. When you try to do more than one type of inheritance, that is called as a hybrid. Hybrid, always remember, more than one. Now you guys understood TestNG, Cucumber, different framework. What we are talking is a different framework. This framework most of the time designed by the architect. Senior most person will generally responsible to design the framework. I think I designed 2 or 3 frameworks in my recent project. So data driven is nothing but here we put test data. Here we put test data in Excel or in the CSV file and read data from this file and put it into your application. As the name says, data driven. It is purely driven by the test data. We already done one example where we put the test data in Excel, like user ID and password. We have written some coding to read the data from the test engine. Data driven means it's purely driven by the test data. Example, we also discussed one, what you called, not yesterday, day before yesterday, at the rate of data provider. Data provider is coming from where? It is coming from the test engine. You just have to go ahead and reuse it. So same thing here, data driven. Data driven means you put data in Excel and try to read it. CSV is one type of the file. Like how you have Excel file, you will also have one more file called CSV file where you will put the test data. This is the framework one, data driven. Your data will be keep on changing, but your script will not change. What is your script? Go to the data, read data from Excel and put it into your application. Next one is keyword driven. Keyword driven framework is very old one. These two are very old frameworks. Keyword driven, I think I used it in when was in Bangalore, I think 2006. Yeah. Keyword driven, I was implemented in 2006. It is very long. 2016 means like 2016 plus 2. How many years? 16 years back. That was the first time I was introduced into the automation testing, right? So keyword driven, here we use Excel, and in this file we use keyword, and every keyword will have a function. Now we talked about what? Cucumber. Every step is having what? Some method definition. So how it looks like, you guys can see the diagram here. Now what this is literally telling, it's a manual testing only. Keyword driven. What we are saying, enter user ID, enter password, click on login. Consider this is for your HRM application. So for test data, I already written common features, common function, one for type, one for click, right? So what I have to do here, I use my keyword or action. Some projects, they call it as a keyword. Some projects, they call it as a action. Always remember, for every keyword, there should be a function. For every keyword, there should be a function. Now, what is my job? I already have some coding is written for Excel. I have one Excel utilities. I will go and read the data from my Excel. And in that Excel, I will also put one keyword. I also put one column called keyword, or I put keyword or action. For what action I wanted to do for a type. Now what I'm going to do, always remember, keyword driven, purely driven by a keyword. Why I'm saying driven by keyword? Now let's try to understand. Now what is my keyword? Send the text. Send the text or type, anything you can put, right? What do you want to do on text field? Send the text. Now what I can write? I can write one function. Instead of type, I would say send text, right? And now what is the next action? Send text. I can call the same method. Now I have click. Now what I will do, I will write some coding where I will check if action equal to, what is my action? send whatever I have written, send text. If action equal to send text, what is the first step? I'm reading this user ID. I'm reading the keyword. I'm reading test data. I'm taking the keyword. So what is my keyword? Send text. In my coding, what I'm trying to do, if action equal to send text, what I would do? Obj dot send text. Always remember, for every keyword, you should write one function. Every keyword should have one function. So you have a keyword called what? Send text. So again, after that, you know the reading of Excel data. Write two loops, one loop for rows, one loop for columns. First time I read it, what is my action? Send text. And then I will call a method called send text here. Then I will also, second time, first time I'm reading Ashok, action equal to send text. I'm also providing my XPath where I'm giving in Excel itself. Okay. I will read this entire test data, keyword and object ID. Based on my action, I will perform same thing. Again, I'll go to the second row. Second row, what? Password. What is the action? Send text. So it is matching. Action equal to send text. Which method it will call? Send text method. Send text contains what? It will take two parameters. One is the test data, one is XPath. So this is already taking one XPath of type of web element and taking test data. Right? I will read data from Excel. I will read what is the test data. I will put that data as a parameter here. Okay. Now I will read one more thing called object ID. I'll give two parameters. One parameter called XPath of the element, one parameter called test data. Second, also same method you utilized. What is changing? Test data is changing. Action is same for these two steps. Action is same. XPath is changing. One XPath you are giving it for user ID. One XPath you are giving it for password. What is the next step? Click on login button. Does require any test data? Nothing. Now what I have to write? I have to check one more condition. If action equal to click. What is my keyword name there? You need to check. What is my keyword? Click. For every click you have to, what I am done, I already written a method here. Click. I already written a method for click. So what I will do here, I'll call the method obj dot click. I will give XPath, whatever the XPath. This XPath from where I'm getting? In my Excel, I'm putting the XPath for every field. XPath or ID or name. But when it comes to framework, you need to stick to one. If you are sticking to XPath, you can give the XPath. If you are sticking to ID, you can give the ID. Is it clear? Keyword driven. Name says data driven, driven by data. Keyword driven, I can say it's a hybrid framework because you are putting test data in Excel. If you are putting test data in Excel, what we call data driven. It is also containing what? Keyword. It is nothing but what? Keyword driven. Keyword driven is always combination of keyword driven along with the data driven. Along with the data driven. What is the additional thing in keyword driven is, for every keyword you have, there should be a function. Are you guys understanding usage of the functions? That's what I said when we are talking about functions. We don't write coding without writing the functions. Wherever you go automation, only functions, recalling, reusing the code. That is called keyword driven framework. If any tester joins into my project, if he or she don't know anything about automation, I'm not worried. I'll ask them to give the Excel. Write your test cases in Excel. Everyone knows for user text field, type only. I'll tell them this is the method. For typing, use method called send text. For click, use keyword called click. They go and write manual test cases, but in the background, I will be executing the automation testing here. That is called keyword driven framework. Okay, we will stop it here for today. Page object model will take more time. So whatever example we are going to have one project, I think HR